everyone, Amy Baker here with Body Logic Pilates. This is a Pilates and Slings based workout. Slings comes from the technique Slings myofascial release that I practice and love. Originated by Karen Gertner with the Art of Motion Academy. I'll include contact information in the notes for this video. You're going to need two things. If you have tender knees, there is a kneeling sequence, so a pad to put underneath your knees would be helpful. Additionally, we're going to do a sequence using gliders. If you've got I'm using a furniture mover, but it could be a paper plate, it could be a piece of paper, it could be a pair of socks if you're doing this on a hardwood floor, but something that you could put underneath your feet so that they'll slide easily. All right, let's get started. So we'll start on hands and knees, and a theme for this workout is playing with variations of having spine in a straight position versus having the spine in a bent position. Bent versus straight. So let's start on hands and knees, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. It's called small wave. So you'll shift back, bottom towards the heels, and then waving through the spine, wave through low spine, middle spine, upper spine, as you arrive out into a plank position on the knees. Press off the hand to shift back, and then again, waving through, getting a little bit of movement sequentially through the bottom of the spine, the mid spine, the upper spine. Don't forget about head and neck. And then pressing back. 3 more of these, everybody. Waving through and forward. Lubricating, moving, sequencing through this body-wide motion. And back. 2 more times. Waving through and forward. Don't forget to keep the abdominal engagement, particularly as you're shifted forward into this plank on the knees. Gravity wants the abs to give up, but keep them activated. And back. 1 more time, waving up through and forward to arrive into the plank on the knees. And then heading back. From here, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. The goal with this next sequence is to maintain a flat back. We'll lift the feet off the floor and then head them down. We're going to press into the floor with the feet as if you were going to try to lift the knees off. Don't work that hard, but that's the intention. Maintaining a super straight back, press the feet into the floor. It should get you some quads and abdominal activation. Hold that for 10, 9, 8, 7. Check the shoulders so they're riding up on the neck. 5, knit them onto the rib cage. 3, 2, 1. Relax, lift the feet off the floor and do it for a second time. Again, pressing down, tops of the feet into the floor. Super straight back, pressing, engaging quads and abs for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. From here, it's called cat back. So take an inhale, and then as you exhale, stand into your hands. You're going to start to round your upper back, keeping the weight in the hands. Inhale here. The next move, exhale, shift back so you get more of a rounding to the low back. Shift the weight out of the fingertips. And then once you're back there, lift the right hand off, lift the left hand off, and let's hold here, focusing on the opening through the low back. That's abdominals engaging in the front to open up the low back. Hold here, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come back forward, back to flat back with the weight on the hands. From here, we're going to do some leg raises. If you're like me, touch your knees a bit closer together just to narrow your base, and then we'll reach the right leg back behind. Engage through the abs and then lift the right leg up. Think of the leg lifting as a challenge for that support your abdominals are giving the front of your spine. And 2, right front pocket of the jeans or the right tip of the hip is pointing towards the floor. Let's do 8 of these. 3, engage through the core and then challenge it by lifting the leg. 4, 5, and 6. 2 more. 7, abdominal engagement in the front, and then the back of the pelvis, the back of the thigh, 8, and then we'll come in and then we'll switch to the other side. So left leg is out. Again, rigorous abdominal engagement that you challenge by lifting the leg. Working glutes, working hamstrings, working the back body, particularly on the left. 2, keep the left hip pointed towards the floor, so it's a really square pelvis. 3, and 4, yep, 5, and 6, 2 more, recommit to the abs, and then try to maintain them even as you lift the legs. 7, and 8. From here, hands come down. We're gonna take a break, or the leg comes down. We're gonna take a break on the hands. It's called sit back, curl up. I like to put hands at the back of the pelvis. Bow the spine forward a bit as you sit back, pelvis towards the heels, and then it's a curl through, similar to that small wave. You're gonna curl through your low spine, middle spine, upper spine to come upright. Let's do 5 of these. Sit back, curling up, motivating through the quads and then getting that articulation through the lower spine. 3, waving through to head up, up, up. You're doing great. 4, sit back and then curl up. 1 more time. 5, sit back and then curl up. The hands can help assist the back of the pelvis dropping down. All right, back to hands and knees. We're gonna repeat. So, and if your wrists feel tender, feel free to fold up your mat. Have your wrists a little bit higher and your fingertips tipped lower, which can be a little bit less compression on the wrists. From here, let's lift the feet off the floor. Again, keeping a straight back, press the feet into the floor as if you were gonna lift the knees, activating abs and quads. Hold here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Let's do it again. Lift the feet off. Come back down. Press again into the mat. Abs and quads activating. Keep a straight back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Take an inhale into the cat back. Exhale. Keep the weight in the hands. Start to round the upper back. Take another inhale. As you exhale, shift your weight back so you're hovering your booty over your heels, rounding through the low back. Lift the left arm, lift the right arm, hold right there for 10, 9, engage through the front to open through the back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll come out of it and back onto hands and knees. Again, touch your knees together. We're gonna reach the right leg back. Lift it up. Get my foot's out of the screen. There we go. Lift it up. Now this is a shift to the right with the leg. The trick is to steady the torso as the leg shifts right and then back underneath you. Again, 2 and back. So it's engaging through the abdominals again. Gravity wants them to give up. So use your abs to support the stable pelvis. And as you shift your leg to the right, make sure you're not listing the torso to the left. You want to keep a steady torso. 5 and 6. Check the shoulders. Are they riding up on the neck? Can you nestle them onto the ribs a bit more? 7. 1 more time. 8. Right leg is done. Let's lift the left leg back and then off. Same thing on the other side. Reinforcing with the abs to steady the pelvis and low back. Sending the leg to the left and then back underneath. Again, 2 and underneath, trying to steady the trunk. Don't list to the right with your trunk. As you move the leg, keep the trunk real steady. That'll be oblique abdominals as well. That's the musculature that sort of on the sides of your rib cage. 4, steady torso, shifting left and back. 5, left and back. 6, 2 more, recommit to the abs. 7, 1 more time. 8. From here, we'll come back down and repeat. So go into the flat back, lift the feet. Press them down, push your feet into the floor, engage through the abs for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax that. Flip the feet up. Do a second round. Remember, it's like press your feet as if to lift the knees. Don't go quite that effortful bit in that direction. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax the legs. Inhale, and then as you exhale, go into the cat back. Weights in the hands. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, shift back, so you gradually lift your weight out of your fingers as you hover your booty back over your heels. Let's lift the right arm and the left arm. Hover right here for 10, 9, 8, round back, 7, especially the low back, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll come back forward. Weight back on the hands. Touch the knees together. The next variation, right leg is back. Recommit to the abs as you lift the leg up. Try to steady that right thigh. It's a knee bend. Bending the right knee like your heel comes to your butt, kind of like a butt kicker. And out. That's it, 2. Steady the torso. Abs engaged. Steady the thigh. It's from the knee and below the movement. 3. That's it. Check your shoulders. They're right up on the neck. 4. Yep. And 5. Keep the abs like you're wearing a pair of tight jeans and you're making your gut a little bit smaller to fit into them. 6. 2 more. 7. 1 more time. 8. Okay, let's drop the right leg down. Same thing on the left. Sending the left leg back. Lifting up. One side's usually harder than the other. For me, it's definitely the left leg. Keeping the thigh steady as you bend and stretch. You might be able to relate to one side not being quite as organized. 2. Recommit to the abs. Keep the torso steady. It's the knee and below. 3. And 4. And 5. Yep. And 6. 2 more. And 7. 1 more time. 8. Good. Come back down. Let's repeat that. Flat back, lift the feet off, and then come down, pressing the feet to the ground as if to lift the knees. It's a rigorous quads and ab engagement for 10. Ooh, I forgot. Let's come up. We're going to do the fast stretch first. So, hands are at your abdominals. Think of a claw. Your fingers clawing in to keep abdominals activated. Maintain that as you hinge back at your knees. And forward. That's it. It's called thigh stretch. Keep the abdominals active as you hinge back. The length changes here through the front of the thighs. And up. That's it. And 3. And up. And 4. And up. 1 more time. 5. And up. Great. From here, we'll come back down. And now, let's do the feet pressing. So lift the feet off. Head down, press the top of the feet into the ground, quads and abs for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Lift the feet off. The trick is, as you press into the floor, try to steady the spine. Don't let it arch or round. Keep it steady. 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax the legs. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale again, round upper back. Take another breath here. As you exhale, shift back, hovering the pelvis over the heels, and then lifting one arm, lifting the other arm. Take a breath. Hold here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll come back forward into flat back. The last variation is going to be a combination of the 3 moves that we did. We'll do 6 sets. So reach the right leg out, lift the right leg up, square off the right hip, aim it towards the floor. Number 1 is lower the leg and lift, and then shift it to the right. Keep your trunk really steady as you do it, and then knee bend and stretch. Repeat it. Low, lift, shift right, center, bend, stretch. 3, low, lift, steady with the abs. Right, center, bend, stretch. 4, down, up, shift, center, bend, stretch. 2 more, everybody. Low, lift, shift, center, bend, stretch. 1 more time. Low, lift, shift, center, bend, stretch. Great. To come out, to recover, plant your right foot. It's called a pretzel. You're going to take the left leg and cross it behind the right one, kind of like you got to pee, so crossing your legs, and then we're going to shift back into that angry cat position. So pelvis hovering back over your heels, lift one arm, lift the other one, and then stay here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Let's come out of that, uncross the legs, and then catch the left side. So, left leg is long, lift the left leg up, square off the hip, leg low, lift, steady torso as you shift left, center, bend, stretch. Do it again. Low, lift, keep the hips square, left hip aiming towards the floor, shift left, center, bend, stretch. 4 more. Down, up, over, bend, stretch. 4, low, lift, shift, center, bend, stretch. 2 more. Low, lift, steady the trunk even when you shift left, right, bend, stretch. 1 more time. Low, lift, shift, center, bend, stretch. Oof, that was my hard leg. From here, plant the left knee. You're going to take the right leg and cross it behind the left. So your legs are crossed, shift back again so that you've got your weight. The opening is through the low back. If you can, lift one arm and then the other arm. Stay here again for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Engage to the abs to help open up the low back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. We'll come out of the pretzel. Let's get up off of the hands. This one, I call it a front body wave. I think hands at the back of the pelvis are helpful. You're going to send the back of the pelvis down and then start to lift belly up towards the ceiling, chest, heart, throat, chin. So the whole front body is elongated. And then come back upright so you're back to just a normal length through your front. Back of the pelvis drops and then lift up belly, chest, heart, throat, chin, and up. 3 more. Back of the pelvis down, lift up the front, belly lift, chest, heart, throat, chin, and up. 2 more times. It's a pretty rigorous abdominal engagement. The back of the pelvis drops, abs lift the front of the pelvis up, and then you stretch the front body up, 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 and upright. 1 more time. Back of the pelvis drops, front of the pelvis lifts, and then keep on going. Lift up, front, up, 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 and then upright. I'm going to turn to face forward. We're going to do one more kneeling exercise. It's called spiraling. Let's lift the arms up. So think of a spaghetti jar. Your hips are the jar. They're going to turn a bit to the right. And then your rib cage and your arms are the lid, and they're going to turn a bit to the left. And then come upright. So it's like a counter rotation. Hips turn a little bit to the left. That's subtle. And then the torso turns towards the right. Chest and torso turns to the right. And then come upright. Again, hips turn to the right. Rotate the trunk to the left. And upright. Hips turn to the left as the torso rotates to the right. And upright. 3 more sets. Hips right, rib cage and torso left. And up. Hips left, rib cage and torso right. And up. 2 more sets. That's 4 more total. Hips go right, torso goes left. Up, hips go left, torso goes right, and up one more time. Turn the pelvis right, your chest to the left, up, pelvis to the left, the chest to the right, and up. From here, we'll come back to hands and knees once more and finish with that small wave that we started with, just to integrate. So shifting back, and then it's that same waving motion, starting the movement through the lower part of the spine and then sequencing up rib cage, neck, head. Keep the abdominal activation even when your weight's out into your hands. Shift back, and again, waving up and over and forward, low spine, mid spine, upper spine, don't forget head and neck. Arrive with the weight in the hands, and back, and 3. Rolling up, over and forward. And back. 2 more times, waving up, over and forward. Don't forget head and neck. Keep your abdominals active, especially now. And back 1 more time. Through and forward. And back. Good. From here, if you folded up your mat, you can unfold it. And let's just spin around so the feet are forward. So from here, it's a roll up. That's a Pilates exercise. We're going to do 2 variations. First one's easier, the second one's a little bit more complicated. All of the low back rounding we worked on in the angry cat is going to come back now. So, first variation, place your hands at the back of the thighs. If you are wearing jeans, pretend you're rolling over your back pockets of your jeans. So rolling back, going back as far as you can still evenly lay on the right and left side of your pelvis and or your low back. From here, pulling with the arms, head up and forward, head reaches towards the knees, so your spine's in a really rounded position. And then stack back up. So like I said at the beginning, this is a flat back. Go back into rounding. So plant the feet a bit and then roll back over the back pockets. Rolling back as far as you can be even in your weight distribution, right and left, across the back of the pelvis, maybe your low back. From here, dive over and forward, head reaching towards the knees. So it's a rounded back, try to touch your chin into your chest, and then stack back up to flat back. 3 more. Let's go. Rolling back. Going back as far as you can keep an even weight distribution. That's it. From here, curling up and over and forward, head towards the knees, try to touch your chin into your chest. Getting that lengthening through the back of the neck also. And up. 2 more times. Rolling back. From here, diving over and forward, head towards the knees. Try to touch chin into the chest. And then stacking back up. 1 more time. Rolling back. That's it. Head towards the knees. And then back up. So that's the first variation. You can stick with that, or we're going to add to it. So start the same way, rolling back over the back pocket of the jeans. From here, in order to touch the low back onto the ground, I'm going to float the feet. So the feet float in order to get the low spine down to the ground, and then rest back with your knees bent into your chest. And then from here, we're going to curl up. Go again into that rounded spine you practiced. Try to touch the chin into the chest. Press the legs into the hands as you come forward. Again, that round spine. And then stack back up. Let's do that 4 more times. Rolling back over the back pocket of the jeans. In order to lower your low back to the floor, float the feet. The feet float so your low back rests down. Lay the spine down. Soften for just a moment. Bend the knees into the chest. And then from here, we'll curl up and forward. Press the legs into the hands. As you come up and forward, round again, head towards the knees. And then you can stack up. Let's do it 3 more times. Rolling back. Floating the feet to help you get the next part of your spine onto the ground. From here, lay back, soften the knees into the chest. And then curling up. Again, rounding the head towards the knees. And then stacking up. We're trying for 5. I don't know where we're at. Let's do 2 more. Rolling back. This might be 6, but it's all good because it's a fun exercise. Float your feet off. As you float the feet off, rounding the low back towards the ground. Bend the knees into the chest. Curl up and forward. Rounding the head towards the knees. And then stacking up. One final time. Rolling back. We'll stay down on this one. Float the feet in order to lower the spine, low back towards the ground, and then we'll lay back. Okay, just gonna give you a quick visual. This next one is some abdominal work. Since we're not live in person, give yourself some feedback to support you in keeping your ribs and pelvis connected, particularly in the front. So I'm gonna suggest put your heels of your hands right at the lower ribs, and then your fingertips touch the front of your pelvis so that you can detect, are the front of the pelvis and the ribs staying in a relationship or gathering, or are they separating? And these next exercises, you don't want them to separate like we did in the front body opening. We want to keep them gathered together, and your hands will help you notice how that's going. So, laying down, we're going to do 3 variations of a leg float. The first one's easy, and then it gets progressively harder. So again, putting the hands where I said, heels of the hands on the ribs, fingers at the tips of the hips. So you're gonna take an inhale. As you exhale, steady ribs and pelvis. Let's just lift the right leg up. And then notice, do your ribs and pelvis want to separate? It might be right side, it might be left side. See if you can keep them connected as you lower the leg down. Take another inhale, and then as you exhale, let's float the left leg up. And then inhale to lower the leg back down. Same thing, check with your hands. Can you steady the pelvis? Exhale, pelvis relative to the ribs as you float the right leg up. And then lower back down. Monitor with your hands. Exhale to float the left leg up. And then back down. Let's do it 3 more times. Exhale. Note, is there any movement with the ribs and the pelvis? Your hands will pick up on that. And down. And on the other side, exhale to float the left leg up and down. 2 more sets, that's 4 more total. Exhale, right leg and down. Exhale, left leg and down. 1 more time, right leg and down. And then left leg and down. Okay, adding to it, we're gonna make it a little bit more challenging. Take another inhale. As you exhale, let's float the right leg up. Keep the right leg there. Inhale to lift the left leg. Exhale to lower the right leg. Steady ribs and pelvis. Inhale to lower the left. Let's do it again. Exhale, left leg lifts up. Inhale, the right leg joins. Keep ribs, pelvis steady. Exhale, left leg lowers back down. And then inhale, the right leg follows. Do it again. Exhale, the right leg up. We'll do 5 sets. Inhale the left leg to join. Exhale the right leg back down. Inhale the left leg back down. On the left, exhale up. Inhale. Exhale, the left leg lowers. Inhale the right. 3 more sets. Right leg. Steady ribs and pelvis, left leg. That takes deep abdominal activation. Pelvic floor as well. Right leg lowers. And left. On the left. Left leg up. Right leg follows, left leg lowers, right leg follows. How you doing on that core control? It's not as easy as it seems. It's actually a pretty challenging exercise. There's subtlety to it, but if you do it right, it takes some effort. Left leg up, right leg follows, left leg down, right leg follows. 1 more set. Right leg up, left leg follows. Steady ribs and pelvis, right leg down, left leg follows. 1 more on the left. But what I love about these is it's abdominal exercises without the chest being lifted. So we're training posture that might fit well into life while we're strengthening your abs instead of lifting the torso, which is such a commonplace position for ab exercises. So just a little riff on that. The last one, this is the hardest yet. We're gonna have both legs up. So maybe inhale, as you exhale, lift the right leg up. And then inhale to lift the left leg up. Lower the heels a bit towards the thighs, and then steady ribs and pelvis. We're going to dip the toes down towards the mat. You might touch the mat, you might not, and up. 10 of those. Keeping abs engaged as you tip the feet down towards the floor, and up. That's it, and 3. And up. Keep monitoring with your hands. Are your ribs and pelvis staying in connection on both sides? My right side, they want to disconnect more so than the left. You might be able to relate. Most of us have asymmetries, and if you can start to pick up on them, then you can correct them. 7, exhale, legs down, and up. That's it. 8, exhaling down, and up. 2 more times. Ribs, pelvis connect as you dip your feet down, and up. 1 more time. Down, and up. And then from here, we'll lower one leg down. Still connecting ribs and pelvis. That's deep abdominal control. And then the other leg. Just to do an integrator, let's do 5 shoulder bridges. So it starts with the tilt of the pelvis. So think of the tail curling towards the ceiling. You hover your pelvis just a bit off of the floor. Keep standing in the legs. Keep activating the trunk musculature to help you rise up to just whatever feels like the top of your bridge position. From here, reverse it. Sequencing, laying down the rib cage, laying down the low spine, laying down the pelvis, and then relaxing down towards the bottom. Let's do it again. Curl the tail towards the ceiling, lifting the pelvis off, and then continuing up. Lifting. It's 50-50, the distribution. You're certainly working through the legs, but you're matching it with a trunk activation. 50% legs, 50% trunk, and down. And if you're one of the people that have hamstrings that want to spaz when you're doing the bridging, curl your tail, start to lift off. Think of unloading your legs a little bit by getting more effort at the level of the trunk. See if that might help with the hamstring cramps that are inherent to bridging patterns. And then working down, down, down. Relax at the bottom. Let's do 2 more, you guys. Here we go. Curl the tail towards the ceiling. Start to lift up pelvis. Low spine, rib cage. And then work your way back down. Laying down rib cage. Keep the abdominal activation as long as possible. Low spine, pelvis, tail is not until the very end that you relax. And then let's do it once more. Curling the tail towards the ceiling. Definitely working hamstrings, working through the legs. Match it with effort from the trunk and up. And then work your way back down. Rib cage, low spine, pelvis, and tail. Whew. Just to recover the legs, reach up, grab whatever you can reach. It might be your toes, it might be your calves, it might be your thighs. Pull on your legs so you get some stretching through the back of the legs, and then we're going to open the legs and then close. So it's just a hamstring stretch that evolves into a groin stretch, opening and closing. And that gliding from one position to the other position lends to the stretch, creating a little bit of glide actually between the different groups of muscles and the different fibers of tissue within the muscles. Open and in. One more time. Open and in. From here, we're going to do a rolling exercise. It's sort of you're going to bend your legs in, press your legs into your hands to roll forward. And then as you roll back, the legs go to straight. So it's, if you know Pilates, it's a combination of rolling like a ball, plus the seal. The open leg rocker, I mean. And then forward legs are bent as you head forward. And up. Keep thinking of the angry cat position, reaching your head towards your knees, trying to open up especially the low back, and back. Forward, head towards the knees, really getting a rounded spine, and back. Let's do 5 more. Forward, and back. And this is one that, with practice, you'll find that you move more evenly through the right and the left side of the back. If you've got a little giddy up and you roll momentarily only on the right side, those sorts of asymmetries, with practice, these rolling exercises can help. One more time in conjunction with the angry cat series that we did earlier. And in. Last time. And up. Awesome. All right, let's move into a sequence for the side body. So now we're going to be working the oblique abdominals, so the connective tissue and the muscles that reside on the side of the trunk. So kneeling, again, if you need a pad, this will be with one knee down, so you might want to put a pad underneath that knee. You'll have your left leg off to the side, and the important detail on this foot position is the pinky toe side of your foot. Have it contacting the mat. You want it contacting the mat, and then arms will be out in a next to you. Keeping the pinky toes touching the floor, shift over towards the right, and then you can come back in. And again, shifting over towards the right, and then back in. That's it. And 3. Keeping abdominal activation, that same connection, ribs in the pelvis in the front. We were practicing in the leg floats. That comes in here as well. 4. And in. One more time. 5. And if you're having issues with the side of your leg wanting to cramp, if you can commit a little more to the ribs and the pelvis, it might unload that. Just happened for me. So now we add a capital T to it. You're going to shift to the right, and then the arms lift into the T, and then you come center and upright. Let's do 5 more. Connect ribs to pelvis, shift over. Even when you go into the T, keep the abdominal activation, connecting ribs and pelvis in the front, and up, and 3. Shift right, capital T, in and up, and hopefully you're feeling obliques on the left. 4, shift, and up. One more time. 5, shift, center, and up. From here, the bottom arm's going to float. That's the right arm. Start the same way. Shift, do the T, and now 5 times the right arm floats. 5, all the while, ribs and pelvis connecting in the front. 2, deep abdominals, pelvic floor. 3, I say it so much because for most of us, that's something you can constantly recommit to. 4, one more. 5, and then from here we'll come up and out. One more time. Shift over, go into the capital T. This time it's both arms. Both arms move. 5. Both arms move. 4. Hopefully you're feeling the left side of your trunk. 3 and 2. Ribs to pelvis connect in the front. 1, and then you can come up. The last are some leg lifts. So we'll meet with the right hand down on the floor. Point your left toes, and then we'll lift and lower the left leg. The trick on this one is you want to keep your body in 2 dimensions. I think of being in a toaster or between 2 panes of glass. Try not to touch the glass with your nose in front or with your booty behind. 5 more. 5 and 4. You got it. 3, 2 more. And 1. Awesome. To come out of it, let's do a stretch. Your left knee is going to touch down. Walk your right hand in, but do a bend to the right. That'll open up your left side. From here, we're going to spiral forward. That means circle your head forward so it's in front of your legs. And then we will stack up. From here, I'm going to give you the side view. Go back, tuck your toes underneath. Head back down so your hands touch the floor, and then we're going to meet in an inverted V, sometimes known as a down dog position. Also, from here, roll into a plank position, and there adjust your stance so that you've got a good distance between your hands and your feet, and then from here, press back up into the down dog. Okay, so we're going to lower the knees towards the floor in 5 increments. So they're little movements. Lower the knees a bit, lift the head a bit, pause right here. Do it again, lower your knees a bit more, lift the head a bit more, pause right here. Keep the abs. 3, lower the knees, lift the head. 4, lower the knees, lift the head. 5, lower the knees, lift the head. And then you can press back up. Do it again, we're gonna do 5 of these. Lower the knees, lift the head. 1, lower the knees, lift the head. 2, lower the knees, lift the head. 3, 4, almost to the floor, but not quite. And up. 3 more. Roll over your toes. It's probably a stretch in the under surface of the toes. The lower you go, I bet you'll feel it in your quads right above your knees as well. Keep the abs. 3, a little lower. 4, A little lower, 5. And up, 2 more times. Roll over your toes, give me abs. Lower the knees, lift the head. 1, knees a little lower, lift the head. 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. 1 more time. Lower the knees, lift the head. 1, 2, 3. We'll stay down on this one. 4, 5, and then lower the knees all the way to the floor. Head back into, again, a round back, reverse rest or child pose. Rounding your back similar to the angry cat that we were doing earlier. Let's do 2 breaths here. Engage through the abdominals, open through the low, low back, and exhale. 1 more. The front activates so that the back can open. From here, slide the hands in. We'll stack up towards vertical, and then catch the other side. So left knee is down. If you need, pad your knee. The right leg is off to the side, and again, the pinky toe edge of the right foot is contacting the floor. Arms off to the side. So you're gonna do a shift. Shift towards the left, and then come back in. Keep connecting ribs to pelvis. Do it again. 2, and in. Do it again. 3, and center. How you doing on the pinky toe? Can you keep it touching the floor? 4, and in. 1 more. 5. From here, add the capital T to it. So again, you shift to the left, arms raise, center, and up. Connect ribs and pelvis even a little bit more. Shift, T, center, and up. That's great. 3, shift, T, center, and up. 2 more. Shift, and up. 1 more. Shift, T, and up. Now it's the bottom arm floating. Shift, T, that left arm, up, down. 5. Ribs and pelvis connect in the front. That's deep abdominals as well as pelvic floor. 3. That's it. And 4. 1 more time. 5. And then we'll come out and up. Again, double arm float. Shift left. Capital T. Ribs and pelvis connecting. 5. Both arms go. 4. And 3. Good job. And 2. Ribs and pelvis. I can do it a little bit more. I bet you can too. 1. And then you can come up. And then from here, we're going to come down. So the left hand is on the floor. Right arm is up in the air. It's little leg lifts with the right leg. Trying to stay in 2 dimensions. That means no pecking with your head or shifting back with your booty. 2, 3. Here in this new position, can you still connect ribs and pelvis in the front? I bet you can do it a little bit more. 4, let's do 10. 5, and 6, and 7. Even a little more abs. 8, 2 more. 9, 1 more. 10. From here, plant your right knee on the floor. We're gonna walk the left hand in a bit and do an opening through your right side. If you can't touch the floor, you can touch your thigh and come up and make it a little more generous. From here, we'll circle forward, rounding the head forward so your torso's in front of the legs. And then again, stack up. We're gonna repeat that plank. So, hands to the floor, find an inverted V. We'll wave out into a plank position. Roll over your toes and then wave out into a plank. And then here, get the right dimensions. Walk so your hands are under your shoulders. Knee, feet, back. Find a good plank. And then press up again into the inverted V. We're repeating 5 more times. Knees lower in 5 increments. Lower the knees, lift the head. Pause. Do it again. Knees down, lift your head. 2. Knees down, lift your head. 3, 4, 5. And up. Do it again. Bend the knees, lift the head. 1. Bend the knees, lift the head. 2, 3, 4, 5. And up. 3 more times. Stretching the bottoms of the feet. Reaching through your heels. Committing to the abs. 4. Gravity wants the abs to go up. 5. And up. 2 more. So keep thinking of your hands touching fingertips at the pelvis, heels of the hands at the wrists. Keep those landmarks connected. 4, 5, and up. Let's do one more. Down and 2, knees lower, head lifts, 3, 4, 5, but from here press back up into the inverted V. You can choose either walk your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands. From here, relax your torso towards your thighs 8 times. We're gonna just do a leg stretch. Bend your knees, that softens the backs of the thighs. Straighten, that gets you more of a stretch around your backs of your thighs, pelvis, maybe even low back. Bend again and stretch. Maybe touch your heels. Make sure your heels are connecting to the ground as you bend and stretch. And 4, heels maintain contact with the ground as you bend, stretch, that's it. 5, and up. 6, and up. 2 more. 7, and up. 1 more. 8, and up. From here, my favorite position for the roll up is with the hands at the back of the pelvis to really lend to that sequencing. Send the back of the pelvis down, and then you'll start to wave up low spine, mid spine, upper spine, up, up, up. You're almost done. We're gonna finish with a little cardio blast with the legs on the gliders, a few more planks, and then we're finished. So get your mat out of the way. Grab whatever your gliding surface is, whether that was your furniture mover, or your paper plate, piece of paper, anything goes. So we're gonna have the ball of the right foot on the glider, and it's a reverse lunge. Still, touch ribs and pelvis, make sure you stay connected. Bend the left leg, glide back with right, oops, my mat's in the way. Okay, and 2, and up. As you hit the lunge, keep the connection, ribs and pelvis in the front. I think that's a good illustration right there, those hands. 4, let's do 10. Ribs and pelvis connect in the front. 5, ribs and pelvis connect in the front. 6, show you the side view of that. 7, so see how my ribs and pelvis are staying centered on each other. 8, that would be losing the connection. 9, keeping them connected. 10. Okay, back to the forward view. This is called a side glide. Keep the left ball of the foot on the glider, bend the right, send the left one out, and in. I'm gonna send arms up and in. The arm variations are completely optional. Sometimes they help though. 4, and in. Right. 5, and bend the right leg. You go low as you glide out. Stand up. You go high as you come in. 6, 7, 8, 2 more. 9, 1 more. 10. Back to the right leg. These are going to be circling with the leg. Any dancers, ronde-jambs. So your leg will circle clockwise. Bend the left leg, send the right leg forward, and then circle it clockwise. Your arms can mirror the legs and around. It's not gonna work. 3, and around, but the arms are optional. 4, and around, and you can also create your own arm patterns. 5, and 6. Low, and then high. 7, and 8. How you doing with the connection? Ribs in the pelvis. 9, 1 more. 10. Okay, switch to the left foot. Now we do counterclockwise and start going back first. So behind you with the left leg, and then circling around and forward. 2, and around and forward. And again, my arms are just sort of mimicking the legs, but you can make up your own or nix. 4, and 5, and 6. 2 more. 7, not 2 more. 4 more. 8, now 2 more. 9, last one. 10. From here, we're gonna do another plank. Step back to your mat if you like. Hands go to the back of the pelvis as you curl forward. Abs lift the front of the pelvis. Lengthen the low back by keeping the pelvis down as you curl forward. You can even slide your hands down the back of your legs to assist with that downward orienting And then walk back out into your plank position. We are going to stay in the plank this time. 3 incremental lowers with your arms. We're gonna do 5 of them. This is hard. Connect ribs and pelvis in the front, that's abdominals. Lower your body a bit, 1. Lower a bit more, 2. Keep your abs as you lower a bit more, 3. Up, 4 more. Lower a bit, 1. A bit more, 2. A bit more, 3. Keep the abs. And up, 3 more. 1, 2, 3, and up. 2 more. You don't have to go big. Another variation would be knees on the floor, which is a little bit more generous. 1 more time. Lower a bit, 1. A bit more, 2. A bit more, 3. Up, woof. Press back into the inverted V. Walk feet to the hands or hands to the feet. Again, maybe touch the back of your pelvis to lend to the sequencing. Sending the back of the pelvis down to the floor, connecting the sits bones to the heels as you wave through your spine to come back to upright. Let's do the other side of the gliders. So, left foot's on the glider. Reverse lunges. Ribs, pelvis connect in the front. Bend the right, slide back with the left, and up. 2, up, yep. 3, and 4. Give yourself some hands-on to just check out. Are your abdominals staying contracted or are they lengthening? 6, the goal is to keep them shortened in this one. 7, 8, home stretch now, you guys. 9 and 10, great. Switch, so the right foot's on, side glides, bend the left, shoot out with the right. Up, we'll send the arms up. 2 and 3, great. Keep connecting ribs, pelvis. 4, that's deep abdominals, pelvic floor. 5, 6, 7, that's it. 8, arms are optional. 9, 1 more. 10. Back to the left leg. It's the counterclockwise circle, starting forward. Arms can mimic. Leg forward, around and back. 2, around. 3, and 4. Go low and high. 5, and 6, 7, 8, 2 more. 9, and 10. Final lunge. Switching feet, the right foot's on. Clockwise, heading back, around and forward. 2, forward, ribs and pelvis connecting. 3, might make it so your lunges aren't quite as low. 4, but if you're going with precision, often the range of motion becomes a little smaller, so you can do it good. 7, 8, 2 more. 9, 1 more. 10. You owe me 1 more plank, and then we're done. So going back to the mat, roll down again, keeping the back body, particularly the back of the pelvis and the sits bones, orienting towards the floor as you curl forward. That way what you're lengthening is the tissue on your back. Walk back out into the plank position, hands under the shoulders. The 3 increments. Connect ribs and pelvis, come down a bit. 1, come down a bit more. 2, a bit more. 3, and up. Doing this, a plank on your knees, makes this a little more accessible, especially if you're at the beginning. Go again. 1, 2, 3, up, and 3. Ribs, pelvis connect. Lower a bit. 1, a bit more. 2, a bit more. 3, and up. 2 more. You can do it. 1, and 2, 3, up. Final 1. 1. Ribs and pelvis connect in the front. 2, 3, oof. Push into the down dog. Either feet walk towards the hands, or the hands walk towards the feet. Again, touch the back of the pelvis to help orient the back of the pelvis, the sits bones, down towards the floor. That way what you're elongating and moving through is your back musculature and connective tissue, and then up. Let's just finish with a little integrating. First, let's do 8 releves. So releve, I'll give you the side view. Heels are gonna lift up. Woo. Not the best one, and down, doesn't always go perfect. Let me focus, try again. Heels lift, and then back down. Trying to keep the connection, ribs to pelvis, even as you move through your ankles. And down. We're gonna add arms into it. Lift your arms up as you releve, and down. That's it, 5, up, up, up. Constantly calibrating the rib to pelvis connection, because as you lift your heels and as you lift your arms, there's gonna be moments when it wants to disconnect. So you're constantly, dynamically recommitting to the rib pelvis connection. And down. The final, arms will be above head and you'll be relevated. Remember the spaghetti jar. As you lower your heels down, hips turn to the right, chest turns towards the left. Lift the heels up again, releve. Hips turn to the left, chest rotates to the right, and up. Hips turn to the right, chest turns to the left, and up. Hips to the left, chest to the right. Feel that counter rotating through your torso. 3 more sets. And up. And hips turn left, chest turns right as you lower your heels down. 4 more times, that's 2 more sets. Lower your heels, open the arms, and up. Lower the heels, open the arms, and up. 1 more set. And up. Final one. And up. Keep the arms up as you lower your heels down. And then let's just do 5 arm circles, dropping the arms. Lifting forward and around. Constantly centering the pelvis relative to the rib cage relative to the pelvis, especially as you're moving your arms. 3 and around. 2 more. 4 and around. Final one. 5 and around. We made it. Great job. Thanks for joining me. This is Amy Baker with Body Logic Pilates. Great job.